Friday the 28th of September 2013. The rate is 5.57 yuan to the Australian dollar. Now I'm heading to the Forbidden Palace again. It's Saturday, I'm back in Tiananmen Square. Security is pretty tight here, and this looks like the army coming here too. There's police everywhere. Check your ID. Not mine, but the Chinese. It's a pretty hazy day today. I'm going up to see the Forbidden City, but some girl here is trying to talk me to go and see calligraphy. Being a Saturday, there's a heap of people here on Tiananmen Square. That's the square in the background, a hazy day. And in the distance there is Mao's mausoleum. So I'm just getting this girl to put a welcome to Yel's Hutong in Chinese writing. It's costing me
So her name is Panda.
I'll put it on there.
So No.
So this is going to be at the entrance to the area outside the garage. They seem to have some recruits on the bridge here, entrance to the Forbidden Palace. On a Saturday, there are thousands and thousands of people here. Just entering the Emperor's Ancestral Temple, which is part of the Forbidden City. Just come inside the entry to Forbidden Palace. This, of course, was forbidden to the public. The Forbidden City was home to 24 emperors. It occupies over 200 acres and was construction started in 1406. And the public wasn't allowed to enter until 1911. Over 100,000 craftsmen were used in constructing the Forbidden City. And this is the entrance to the Forbidden City with the portrait of Mao. And I'm sitting inside the Forbidden City, just on some benches here. It's 60 yuan to enter. I'm just about to enter. As you can see, there's a moat surrounding the Forbidden City. It's also called the Temple Palace. Outside the wall is a 52-metre wide moat around the Forbidden City. This is the Meridian Gate, or the front gate, entrance into the Forbidden City. I wouldn't mind having one of these angry lions at the entrance to our place. There were some big squares in Turkey, but nothing on the scale of this. These huge copper and iron vats were used as a firefighting equipment, filled them with water and used if they put any fires in the palace. And in winter they used to cover them with blankets to stop the water from freezing. From here we can also get a good idea of how vast this one square is. It's only a small part of the palace, just one of the squares. And now I'm to the far south part of the palace, and to this section here at the top of the picture. This section here, and then we go down here through a section of the wall. Instead of leaving, I think I'll go to one of the outer sections. We're in the intersection of the palace. The outer section has the wall and the moat. I'll see if I can get down there. Not many people in this bottom section. And I found some emperors and some empresses or dowagers.
Excuse me, one like this.
This iron gate was constructed in 1420. It would be easy to get lost in this palace, or complex of palaces. I'm trying to get to the outer wall, but it seems to be blocked off. I'm now located up in this area here, which has its own square. The colour of the walls is interesting because it's very similar to the colour of the walls in Marrakesh. I've been here for over an hour and it's quite difficult to find your way around, but I think I found the entrance to the outer wall. I think it's through these gates here. And this is the view of the palace from outside. You get no idea of how complicated it is inside, what a maze of buildings it is and how big the squares are and how wonderful the architecture is inside. And this is a wall similar to the one that I saw in the Beijing Park yesterday. An Iron Dragon wall. This one was built in 1773 and is nearly 30 metres long. All the palaces have a name. This one is called the Palace of Heavenly Purity. Part of the moat and the wall that surrounds the palace. It has a large wall about 10 metres high, just below that building there. And it's wider at the base than at the top. The moat extends 3.5 kilometres. This is one of the 307 copper vats found throughout the city. This is a massive city. To give you an idea, if you had a 4-bedroom house, then the Grand Palace in Bangkok would occupy just one size of one toilet. And the house the size of this imperial palace. This is just one small section. You can see how large it is. Must have been a lot of people who lived here at different stages. It was the home of 24 different imperial rulers or emperors. This is an imperial huton or imperial laneway. A lot fancier than the one where I'm living. Amazing how intricate all the carving is. That part is very similar to the Grand Palace in Bangkok. But on a scale level, Grand Palace is tiny compared to this place. This is the Forbidden City or the Imperial Palace. I'm now at the northern end of the complex of the Forbidden City, which really is a city. It's massive in size. And this is the Imperial Garden. This is about 10% of the garden. It's common for the Chinese to have jagged rocks like these in their garden. These are about 10 metres high. And were brought here to form part of the garden, and just below the garden is a little pond. And then a square pavilion. This pavilion is 430 years old, built in 1583. Finally heading out. We're only allowed to walk one way from south up to north, and it's taken me just over 3 hours to do that walk through this Forbidden City. And here's the exit, another one of those huge iron gates, around 400 years old. It's not just one gate, but it's a series of gates we have to walk through to get out of this place. And finally, when you go through the set of the gates, you come to the outside perimeter, and here's the 50 metre wide and nearly 4-kilometre long canal that surrounds the palace. You've got to pay for everything in China, or even to go into the parks. This one's called the Jingcheng Park, but fortunately it wasn't very expensive, only about 30 cents to get in, and I assume the money's used to maintain the park. There's a beautiful arrangement here. For a flat city, there seems to be steps everywhere. Just heading up to the goat on the top of the hill here to get a view over Beijing. 242 steps later, I'm at the Wanchun Temple, top of the hill. And on a hazy day, I'm looking over the Forbidden City, or the Imperial Palace, also known. Can't see very well. Can't see the moat going around it there. Corner there. And in the centre, you can see the entrance. And people are just leaving. This is the northern end. We look at the sun in the south, because we're in the northern hemisphere. It takes a little bit to get used to when you're used to looking at the sun in the north. Here it is. Well over 200 acres of temple complex. And the top of the hill is a big girdle overlooking the Forbidden City. This is how it looks on a clear day. Back to the hostel by bus. Cost me 17 cents. Female conductress. I haven't seen a male conductor yet on these buses. Just before I leave Beijing, just want to take some movies of typical Beijing hutong or alleyway, laneway. See all the food vendors here, and then it goes into residential area. Very colourful. Fruit and veggies up on the left. Haven't seen a lot of older Chinese, mostly young in Beijing, working in the offices here. There's an old guy. I have to take a shot of this before I leave Beijing. Always along the street I see people playing mahjong or cards. Mostly the old guys. There are actually quite a few old guys once I have a look. Mahjong in the foreground and cards in the background. This is a different system. In this restaurant you take a basket here and you choose your ingredients. They're priced from 3 yuan down to 1 yuan, which is 1 yuan is only 17 cents. And here's the 1 yuan on the top shelf, then 2 yuan down here, and then 3 yuan on the bottom shelf, which is all your fish and meats, chicken. So I've taken 2 lots of chicken, and then you put it in a basket here, and then they make a soup out of it. So that's my soup. I've got broccoli, cauliflower, noodles, vegetables, and some chicken. So all of that put into a soup, and a drink as well cost me 15 yuan, which is less than $3. And 7 minutes later, this is the soup made up with the ingredients I chose, and if you take the drink away, it's cost me less than $2.50. It's my last night here. After a 6-hour flight from Beijing, we arrived in KL at 8 AM.